I'm not here to be dramatic, just reporting what's coming out of Steelers camp. I'm not making this up, just doing journalism. All I do is read stories from credible reporters and give them to you straight. And this latest one, from The Athletic, comes courtesy of Mike DeFabo, who filed a report from Latrobe, PA on the Pittsburgh Steelers and their shiny new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. And let me tell you, it's not exactly encouraging. Not if you're a Steelers fan. Once again, the defense dominated practice. In the team's 7-shots goal line drill, the defense won 6-1. Rodgers? He went 0 for 3. Later, in another red zone drill to end practice, the offense was once again stuck in the mud. This is starting to feel familiar. DeFabo listed 4 main issues with the Steelers' offense so far, and I'm going to be honest. If you watched the New York Jets last season, you already know the story. These aren't new issues. They've just moved cities. Problem number 1, they can't run the football. Even in camp, the offensive line can't move bodies. They're not generating push. Sound familiar? The Jets were 31st in rushing last year. Breece Hall was coming off injury. Dalvin Cook was a ghost, and the O-line was held together with duct tape. Pittsburgh spent money. They drafted linemen. But the results? Still sluggish. Second problem. The vertical passing game is out of sync. Rodgers isn't even trying deep shots. He's checking it down, getting the ball out fast. Why? Because he doesn't trust the line. Just like with the Jets, he's playing hot potato with the ball. No faith in protection, no rhythm downfield, no time to let things develop. Same script. Third problem, unreliable WR2. Yes, the Steelers have George Pickens, a true WR1 with elite potential. But who's behind him? Nobody you trust. That's the exact problem in New York last year. The Jets overpaid Allen Lazard, Rodgers' handpicked guy, and he disappeared. If Rodgers has only one reliable target, defenses will scheme that out of the game. Same issue, different jersey. And fourth, their young offensive tackles are taking their lumps. Of course they are. That's what young linemen do. But when you've got a 42-year-old quarterback behind them, you better pray he stays healthy. The Jets drafted a rookie, paid for another vet, and still ended up with the 17th ranked line. The Steelers are following the same blueprint, and it looks just as shaky. So what are the Steelers right now? They're the Jets with a nicer filing system. Same structure, same problems, slightly better packaging. They're the Burger King to New York's McDonald's. Different logo, same indigestion. And Rodgers? He knows. He's not dumb. He's seen this movie. That's why he's not hanging in the pocket waiting for roots to develop. He's getting the ball out of his hands fast. Because at this stage in his career, he's not taking unnecessary hits. He's not Matthew Stafford, who's still out there taking punishment like it's 2012. Rodgers is playing it safe because he has to. And don't forget this schedule. If you don't stack wins early, you're in deep trouble. After October 16th, it gets brutal. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. Then you hit Detroit's offense. That's not a schedule you can fake your way through. If you're not humming in September, you're dead by Halloween. Honestly, I thought Rodgers would retire. I didn't think he'd sign up for this again. Questionable line, no run game, a shaky WR2, and a defensive-minded head coach. That's not the formula for a 42-year-old quarterback to thrive. That's a formula for frustration. Now let's pivot to Miami because the Tyreek Hill situation, it's ridiculous. The guy misses a team stretch and says, "I was just dropping the kids off at the pool." That's his excuse. There's no accountability. It's a joke. And it's emblematic of a bigger issue. Miami has a culture problem, always has. This franchise has been about flash over substance for years. Their style over structure. They want to look like Gucci, but function like an Amazon knockoff. A speedboat team. Fun, fast, explosive. But try steering that thing in a storm. It doesn't work. Look at the roster. Do you love their O-line? Me neither. Do you love their D-line without Christian Wilkins? Not a chance. They've overpaid for skill guys and whiffed in the trenches. Draft record? Hit and miss. No foundation. And I still don't know what Mike McDaniel is. I know what the media thinks he is. Quirky genius, progressive play caller, fresh voice. But what is he on Sundays? 3 years in, and I can't tell you what his team's identity is. Brian Flores, for all his flaws, had an identity. Tough, defensive-minded, great on special teams. He won games with Ryan Fitzpatrick for crying out loud. 8 weeks into his first year, Miami was competing. McDaniel? He's 28-23 overall. And while everyone loves the guy for his interviews, the reality is that 14 other head coaches have made the playoffs since he got hired. He isn't one of them. That's not just bad luck. That's a red flag. Now let me say something quickly about Dallas because this one got me. Brian Schottenheimer showed up to a press conference in a backwards visor. I'm sorry. That's a 2-win look. You're the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, not a dad at a youth baseball BBQ. That visor alone is worth 4 lost games. You've got the Bank of America logo behind you, the star behind you, and you look like you're auditioning for Hard Knocks, middle school flag football. I get it. People will say, who cares? But it matters. Image matters. There's a reason clubs have dress codes. You represent something bigger than yourself. When I go out in public and someone asks for a photo, I put my drink down. Not because I'm afraid I'll get canceled, but because I represent my employer. Fox. The Murdoch family. There's awareness. That's what public-facing professionals understand. But here's the truth. Men are often bad at this. We dress for ourselves, not the job. We don't think about how we're perceived. And in leadership roles, that's a mistake. You wouldn't wear a short-sleeve white dress shirt to a wedding with no tie. And yes, I still remember that guy at my wedding. Still mad. So to sum all this up, the Steelers are the Jets in a better suit. Aaron Rodgers is living the same nightmare again. The Dolphins are all flash, no discipline. Mike McDaniel is loved by the media but hasn't delivered meaningful results. Tyreek Hill is a superstar with zero accountability. And the Cowboys? Still unserious when it comes to the little things that actually matter. You want to know who wins in the NFL? Teams that are consistent. Teams that win in the trenches. Teams that don't care about the spotlight, but care about the details. Because in the AFC, the weather gets worse, the football gets heavier, and flash fades fast. If you can't run it, protect your QB, and get stops, you're finished. January doesn't care about your style points.